What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today's video comes from a TikTok live stream. We're going to be talking to Zeke, and I am going to be having a few extra people come up to sort of handle some of the more specific claims that Zeke has. We're going to be discussing like Zeke's belief in God, why he believes in God, also be discussing the nature of the soul. He has a problem with me not thinking that the soul is a real thing. We'll also be discussing a lot of science and evolutionarily based sort of topics. So if you want to fuck around and find out how Zeke gets utterly destroyed by a biologist as well as some other atheists, then please stay tuned. We got Zeke requesting up. Thank you so much. There's Zeke. Hopefully, hey Zeke, how you doing and how old are you?
What up, man? I'm 24. How are you?
Good. What's your pronouns?
He.
Awesome. Great. So do you disagree with anything up there on the list?
Yeah, I just want to see your side. Like, why do you not believe in any gods?
Right. Good question. I'm glad that you asked that. So I don't believe in any gods because I don't see any compelling evidence that any gods do exist. And the descriptions of God that we currently have, I don't see them as comporting with reality. And if something doesn't comport with reality, meaning that if it doesn't represent reality in some kind of way that is perceivable or is provable to me, then I just simply don't believe in that. It's the same way that I feel about like unicorns and leprechauns. There's no evidence that shows that either of those things comport with reality, meaning it represents reality. So therefore, I don't believe in those things. And I could compare this to other things that aren't mythical creatures, but I kind of feel like this magical wizard that supposedly exists outside of time and space, there's no evidence that shows that he does exist, and so therefore I just simply don't believe in him. Of course, that magical wizard comment was more about the Christian version, I guess, of it, and maybe the Islamic version too. It really kind of depends on your theology, so I mean, I will say that.
Nice. So I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think like there's just still a God of only good?
A God of only good. I don't know what that means.
So he doesn't do everything he can. He only does anything that's good. He can only do good things. He can't do all things.
He can't do all things, but he can only do the good things.
Yeah.
How would that comport with reality? Like, what evidence is there that that particular kind of God exists?
Well, it's just like it's like more of a philosophical way of thinking, since psychologically the human body is like conscious. You know, we're conscious. We're rational. We're more of a rational. The soul's more of our soul is more of a rational reflection. So like compare it to like a plant. A plant would be of like a vegetative soul, since we're different. You know, the plant only has reproduction and like growth.
Okay, how does this relate to a God that can only do good things?
Well, because all these stuff have life, so like I guess they're good. If they have life, they're trying to grow or.
Okay, still, I don't see how this comports with God only being able to do good things. Like, what part of that screams at you that God did this?
Oh, well, it like tells me that God's not gonna come and save you, you know? God's not ever gonna come and save anyone, because you have to technically, I believe that you have to, it's like you and your girl, you know, you have to earn your love with her. You don't just say I love you and you have your love.
Is that really a good quality of God? Like, if God only does the good things, is requiring is having caveats for his love, like requiring certain things to be done for his love, is that still characteristic of an all good God?
Yeah.
How?
Well, because he's only.
If I place a caveat on my love for my son, saying, "Oh, I love you, but only if you do these particular things," like, is that really
like Jesus? You're saying?
No. I'm placing this more in reality in my relationship to my son. If I tell my son, hey, if you do this thing that's wrong or that thing that's wrong or that I disagree with, I will no longer love you or you can't have my love. Is that really a good thing for me to do?
So, you're saying it wouldn't be ethical for him to do that?
I'm saying that it would mean that he's not all good. So it violates this component that you've attached to this God as being all good.
But he only does all good things. Like he doesn't love the bad people because
Right.
that would be
Well,
bad.
so he does not love. So you're not a Christian.
Yeah, let's say I wouldn't be. I can't be a Christian like that.
Okay. What version of God do you believe in? Like which God description do you believe in?
Well, let's say I already had believed in a God while just
So you've just
not
essentially
never reading
created
the
your own
Bible.
God. You've created your own God.
Yeah, like I was more of like a theist or like a deism. Like I believe in deism. Like everything
Well,
around
so
me would
deism is
technically
a
be God,
God
like
that
nature and every living.
right. Well, God is
But then I
the
realized that
deistic
like
God is
that's
not a
not
God
God.
that does all
That
good.
it's
Like a
part of
deistic
God.
God is not. Hold on, the deistic God is not classified as being omnibenevolent. Or even doing all good things, or even having any kind of input on our reality in general. It's just this entity that exists out there, and he's not personal or anything like that, which is kind of an unfalsifiable claim. So I can't say that God doesn't exist. If there's no way to detect him, then there's no way for me to say he doesn't exist or that he does exist. So I remain agnostic about that.
Yeah, I know. But like the human soul, like there's people that either believe the human soul is like grasping your consciousness and like your individuality, or
Mm-hmm.
others believe that the soul is just for like your feelings and all these things that it controls.
So I believe in I can't
Because
remember
like
what the technical term of it.
contologists or yeah, contologists, realists, they wouldn't make claims whether elementary particles exist.
Okay, I don't see how that refers to the soul's argument.
Sorry, I'm cutting
I
off.
feel like our concept of the soul is similar, is the exact same concept as consciousness, which is dependent upon your own brain chemistry and your brain circuitry, basically. And so that means that your consciousness can change given different inputs, like different sensory inputs, as well as different. Oh, the cowboy noise. Somebody gave me a cowboy hat. And so like I feel like the consciousness is actually the thing that everybody's talking about when they talk about a soul. And so this is very relative in that, you know, a person's personality can completely change. And so that changes with any kind of like brain damage that you might suffer, or any kind of chemical disruption in your brain that can change your personality and everything. So it seems very dependent upon your own body.
Yeah.
So what part of a
So like
soul,
the
like what
study
part is all of all that is magical to you?
well, just like me believing in like if I believe in science, then atoms don't technically die. They die to like the 10th to the power, the 10 times to the power of 10. So that's very long from now.
Well,
So
right.
there has to technically be
When people die,
my soul are going to still have to be
when
alive.
people die, unalive, sorry, when people unalive, the no matter is destroyed in this. Energy is just dispersed differently. So energy is no longer flowing through our bodies and therefore is not flowing through our brains, which is what causes our consciousness to emerge from a complex central nervous system. When we unalive, then our bodies start to decay and everything like that, but the energy that was running through our body is no longer, and it's dispersed out into the universe. So there's definitely energy conservation. There's no matter being destroyed. So I don't understand your point in bringing up atoms and like them being destroyed or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. These elements didn't just come out of nowhere. Like, they numerology. numerologic. I can't say that word. Fuck. Numerologically. I don't know if it's a word. But
Numerologically? What?
Yeah, I think numerologic. I don't know.
Okay.
Or numerologically. I don't fucking. Well, like everything has to have a creator, right?
No.
So why? How? Yeah. So you're telling me non-life comes from life comes from non-life.
Well, I mean, I would say that abiogenesis is the explanation for how life could have started, but you said that everything that exists needs a creator, and I just simply disagree with that particular thing. I think that if we're working from a state of pure hold on. I think that if you're working from a state of pure nothingness, which I'm not saying actually exists, but if you're gonna propose this whole pure state of nothingness where absolutely nothing but what is logically necessary to exist exists, then the whole principle of everything needs a creator is not going to exist until a universe inflates and there's a need for that. So there's that, but also on a quantum level, our understanding of cause and effect is different from our normal experience of cause and effect, because causes can have no or effects can have no causes, or the causes can come after the effects happen. So I mean, there's quantum mechanics is a bit tricky in that kind of respect, but that also means that effects or things that come into existence don't necessarily need a cause or need a creator or something like that.
But how can we prove that?
How can we I mean, that's in quantum mechanics. Like, it's necessarily dictated by what we understand about quantum mechanics right now.
All right, man. But like,
okay.
Science is just a theory again. Like, part of it's real and part of it's
science
theory.
is not just a theory. So quantum mechanics is hypothetical, or not hypothetical, but a hypothesis. So we haven't proven quantum mechanics just yet, but people are always working on trying to merge quantum mechanics with like general relativity and stuff, or just our understanding of the universe. They're trying to meld those two together. But science primarily is made up of scientific theories, which are pretty well established, like theories that are supported by mountains of evidence. And basically it's saying, well, this seems to comport with what we understand about reality, and we have not seen anything that proves this theory wrong. And because of all of this evidence that shows that this theory holds, until such a time that we can break this theory or show how this theory doesn't hold, it will remain the most likely answer. That's technically like a long way around about it, but that's technically what we're saying with scientific theories. They're just so monumentally supported. A lot of the times they're like facts, like evolution. That's so monumentally supported that it is a fact at this point.
But evolution can't be proven until this day. Like,
no, evolution has been proven several times over, and there's, like I said, there's mountains of evidence that prove evolution.
Yeah, but the evolution that they proved isn't going on right now.
Okay. Evolution is going on right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
But that's different evolution. We're just
No, it's evolving. Not different evolution. Evolution is evolution. So it's all evolution.
No, because their evolution, science evolution is like, you either come off a fish or something and you evolve that way, or you're either an ape.
I love this. Please, Steelman evolution for me. I want to hear it. I wish I had popcorn.
Like, have you heard that?
I mean, I've heard creationists like say dumb shit about evolution, but you're talking about there was a fish and then it evolved into a human. Is that what you were saying?
Well, that's what scientists believe. There's two scientific theories. It's we can be a fish and we come out of a fish from the water, or we are apes. What?
No. Like, you're referencing two different, I guess, things here. So we definitely evolved from sea creatures. Sea creatures eventually made their way onto land, and they grew lungs and, evolved that way. And then later on, like billions of years later on, then apes, like the proto version of an ape, our proto ape ancestor, came along, and then that proto ape ancestor diverged into the several different lines of great apes that we have now.
Yeah,
What?
but our ape ancestors, none of them actually ever talked, or none of them were able to
Why
critically
is that
think like us.
necessary? There are plenty of animals that don't talk in the way that we talk, but
So
they
like,
still
I don't
communicate
believe
with
that.
each
I don't
other.
believe that theory.
You don't believe that animals can communicate with each other? Like there are more
Well,
than
that's
just
because
humans as social species
animals
on
are
this planet?
sentient.
Huh?
No, they could
There
for
are
sure they
apes
communicate. Plants
now that
communicate with each
communicate
other,
without
so of
using
course.
language like that. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
but
saying. I don't know
we're
what you're
not
trying to
apes.
say
Like
here.
apes don't talk.
We are apes. We are
I'm trying to
classified
say
as
that
being
apes
part of the
didn't
great
learn
ape
how to
family.
read. The apes didn't learn. I'm trying to say apes
They
didn't learn
don't
how to
need to
read,
learn.
write,
They don't
or
need to do
even.
those things in order to be part of the great ape family. The cladistic for
Okay, then where did
grouping
this
animals
magic come
together is
from?
that they
Where did the magic
morphologically
come
share
from?
features. Huh?
Then how do we talk? How are we able to? Where does this magic talking come from? Where
It's
we
not
can talk
magic.
and they
Having a
couldn't?
complex central nervous system is not fucking magic. We just evolved in a different way, and we were able through, and I can explain this, but we through different mechanisms, we were able to grow larger brains, and then as our brains became more complex, we became more sentient, and consciousness emerged. But there are great apes now that show signs of sentience and consciousness and all this other stuff that's very relevant out there. So it's not that we're any different from them. We just evolved in a different way, and we have larger brains, and we can do more complex things. That's the
We're
only
way
difference
different
here.
than them. The difference is that we were made in the image of God, and they were made in the
No, we
image of
were
an ape.
not.
The
How
dog
can
was
you
made in
prove
the
that we
image
were
of a
made in the
dog.
image of God? Is God an old white dude in heaven with a long beard?
No, he just looks like a human.
He just looks like
Well,
a
no.
human.
So you can't confine God anymore since he he technically gave himself up. He limited himself.
Okay, do you mind? So I'm not an expert in this field of evolutionary biology, but apparently there is somebody here who is. So would you like to talk to them?
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Okay, Reynita, I don't know if you are still in the chat there, but if you want to request back up, I was about to allow you to come back on, but or come on. Yep, there they are. Hi,
Hey guys.
hi, Reynita.
Hey baby, what's up?
Hi. You're a evolutionary biologist, or you have
I'm
an
a
expertise in this
biology
field.
teacher.
There you go.
Yeah, so Zeke, it isn't magic. You were
Okay,
asking about a lot of different things.
can I just point
Hold
one thing
on,
out?
Hold on,
Zeke,
Zeke,
hold
you
on.
talked a long time, baby. Give me 2 seconds. I have two things. Yes, you asked why our ape relatives don't talk or
Yes.
communicate. They do
Yes.
communicate.
No, but I'm saying talk like us.
Yeah,
Like us.
it
Like,
doesn't
hi, how
matter.
are you?
Communication is communication is communication. Some humans don't talk. That does not mean they're less human.
No,
I
but
have students who I have students who primarily use ASL. Some students do not use verbal language. Does that make them less human?
okay, so you're like contradicting yourself now.
Am I? Because
Yeah.
communication is communication is communication.
But
We
again,
are what?
we are smart communicators. We can critically think what's right and wrong. An animal can't think what's
Well,
right and
wait,
wrong.
wait. Here, there's a difference. Are we talking about thought or are we talking about rationality? There are two
Rationality,
different
it's
things.
all together. It's a soul.
Okay, wait a minute. We're going to have to dissect that. So here's the thing. A lot of animals do communicate. Mainly, we've seen it in crows. We've seen it in ravens. We see it in elephants. Elephants actually have names for each other. There are different grumbles and sounds used to signify different elephants within the herd. They also have different grumbles and growls for direction. So
If
we
I
are
can't,
communicating on a huge, animals are communicating on a level that's huge. Just because they
I
don't
do want to
talk like
add.
we do is different. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, so sorry there, Renita. I don't mean to interrupt. But I was just going to add into the discussion that we've also been able to teach apes, other apes, a part of the great ape family, sign language.
Yes, they do communicate in ASL. We can
Yeah,
teach them that.
that's
Yeah, and
cool.
there is cognitive thought within our ape brothers and sisters. Bonobo chimps have a very complex society. So complex that they have hierarchies, and they will use means of food and or sex and or other favors to move up through their hierarchy. we are not alone in cognitive thought. We are not alone in thinking or rationality.
Of course.
Especially when we're talking about apes. We are apes, baby. I'm sorry to
We're
tell
not,
you
baby.
that. Baby,
Well, you're an ape.
look
I
at our
guess I'm
DNA,
not.
my
I'm
love.
not an ape. I'm not an ape.
Wait, are you saying that because of how I look?
I've never gotten my DNA checked. No, I've never gotten in DNA. You're saying we're apes, so I'm not an ape. I'm not part of I'm not part of your
Oh,
gang.
hold on. So Homo sapiens are we can trace our lineage back to the other great apes. Like we see markers in our genetics
but
that
I'm not too
we
sure if I'm
identify
a Homo
as
sapien.
great apes. Hold on. I'm still talking. So genetically, we can identify how we are similar, like very, 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 very similar to the other apes and the great apes. Most notably, I believe it's bonobos that were most like genetically. But yeah, we can definitely physically, like in reality, show how all humans are, that. So I definitely disagree with you there about not being that. And if an anthropologist wants to come up and give their view, which I think Rabbi Hannah
I'm not an ape. I'm sorry, but I don't have a brother that's an ape.
You wouldn't have a brother that's an ape. We're more like cousins.
So like I believe that science is more of a theory of why it happens and wants to describe of how it happens.
Do you? Oh, I do have a question about that.
What happened?
When you referenced atoms, do you know what that's called?
Like the atomic particle. I don't know, the periodic
It's
table.
atomic theory. There is nothing that has been able to disprove that yet, but it is still a
It's
theory.
never been proved though. Like I just said, there's weak reductionists that I think I'm talking to right now.
So do you think? Yeah, that's fine. Do you think that atoms aren't real then?
I can't prove them. You can't see an atom. Supposedly, an atom doesn't have a color, and like.
But did you realize that we use? Of course not. We also can't see a god, so.
Oh yeah, like we can't see consciousness, right? We can't see consciousness.
Yeah, but we can. Well, sure.
We
That's
know we're
reductive.
conscious, right? But we know we're conscious.
Do we?
Question. Zeke, can I ask you a question real quick?
Of course, dude.
Are you a mammal?
My phone's at 3. No, I'm a man.
You're not a mammal, so you're not warm-blooded. Humans don't have mammary glands. We don't have hair instead of fur, stuff like that.
But I'm not an animal. A mammal is an animal, dude. So I'm not an animal.
Jesus Christ.
So you're not a tortoise. you don't have a spine. You don't.
I do, but I'm not an animal.
Define an animal? Can you define an animal for me, Zeke?
I can
Do you
talk.
know how
I'm
an
not an
animal is
animal.
defined?
Apes
can talk too.
Like us.
Gorillas can communicate. Apes can communicate. Dolphins can communicate. Whales can communicate. All of them are mammals too. That's not unique. Can you define an
birds
animal for me?
Okay, it's like me telling you Jupiter and Mars and Saturn, all these are circles, and it's not unique. It's the same thing.
What?
They're all planets. None of them would necessarily be circles. They'd be spheres.
Yeah, so you can't prove it though. You can't ever prove that.
So we can't.
We can literally look at planets, dude.
We can't get into that. We can't even prove.
Well, Zeke, I'm
scientists
trying
can't
to
even prove matter. They can't prove gravity, force.
What?
Zeke, I'm going to prove gravity to you real quick. Zeke, give me 1 second. Let me prove
Our own
gravity.
scientists, people. That's why I don't believe in too much science. So like, you can't even prove what you think.
I'm sorry. How do you not prove gravity? Do you like football?
Because you grab an apple and it falls down and you say it's
hold
a
on.
force. Like,
Zeke, look.
what? That's not proving a
Fucking
force.
gravity. It's gravity just happened.
They've done that. Yeah, they've done that to me. But it's not nothing. We are being. Nothing's happening. It's just because it's going down. The force. There's just what?
Okay, well, hold on.
Right? Gravity. We can't prove gravity. No one can prove gravity.
So what, Zeke? What do you think is compelling the keys to go down?
Magnets, the Earth, magnets. My electromagnetic.
All right, here's the real test. Are you a
He's
flat earther?
He's a flat earther.
Yeah.
The second he said
I've never
magnets.
seen that.
Oh my God! I fucking hate fucking flat earthers.
I've never seen the globe.
Wait. Zeke, do you like football? Do you like sports at all?
I used to play sports. I used to play all those.
Okay, so if the Earth was flat,
Yes, it is.
the Earth was flat. Sure. Let's go with that.
What isn't
A
flat?
ball would not fall directly to the ground. That only happens in a spherical situation. Yeah, because it would go wherever the center of gravity is, wherever gravity would be pulling it, whether that be China, the United States, Australia.
Yeah,
it
you can't prove that though
directly
because you're throwing it.
You can. We have tested this numerous times.
We've
that
done it.
gravity has remained consistent on every part of the planet. Hey, Zeke, real quick, I have a question for you. Do you own a car?
dude. Do I? Yeah, I own a lot of cars.
You own a... Oh, congratulations. You ever
I
driven towards
already know where you're
mountains
going. I already know where you're going. You're gonna go with
Cool,
like
can you
wind,
just
wind
prove it?
resistance. Wind resistance.
No,
and
I'm
weird
not.
stuff like this.
No, I'm not. You're actually really bad at understanding what I'm going to say, so maybe just let me
What are you
say
gonna
it.
say?
So, you ever driven toward a city or a mountain?
Make it fast. My phone's at 1. Yes, I've always.
Cool.
I
Have
do
you?
that.
Congratulations. Do you ever notice how you always see the top of the mountain or the city first?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Notice how you always see the top of the mountain or a city or like the buildings of a city first? You ever notice how that happens every single time?
I guess.
Because the Earth is curved, you dumbass.
Yeah,
Also,
there's
the
no
fact that your
curve.
phone
There's no
works.
curve.
The fact that your phone works is because the
literally
Earth
there's
is
no
fucking
curve. But the
round.
fact that we
You know
have
how
a
the
compass tells you that the Earth is flat because a compass can't work when there's a sphere. If the world's a sphere.
Tell me how a compass works. Tell me how a compass works with the 1% of your
Love to
energy
hear
with
you
your battery
explain
left.
how the compass
Yeah,
works.
yeah. You know yourself. I wouldn't explain it how scientists explain it with.
Hey Zeke, you know how your phone works by communicating with satellites? Do you know that
Oh no, it doesn't
satellites only
communicate with
work with
satellites.
around
It's
Earth?
actually
Do you know
called like
that
channeling. It's called channeling and like these Bluetooth.
it's called channeling? What is it? Channel vibes? Is it channel its fucking chakras?
These are channeling. I mean, because
Or does it channel radio waves that communicate with satellites to find out your exact location on the planet?
Yeah, satellites are bullshit. They're up there, but they're not out.
They're
actual
not. I
space.
have literally observed satellites, and I worked with satellites in the
Yeah,
military.
but they're not.
You're
they can't
wrong.
leave. Dude. They can't leave. They're just in orbit, buddy. They're just in orbit.
They
How
are
do you
in
think
orbit
that is?
because of
There's a force
gravity.
that pulls it.
We're in
Yes.
orbit. It's called pressure. It's not called the force. It's called pressure.
Pressure?
No,
know how
I would love for you to
it's not.
define fucking pressure for me.
The higher you go, the more pressure. There's negative pressure the higher you go.
The opposite.
What?
The lower
Okay,
you
there we
go,
go.
there's
Okay,
positive pressure.
It depends.
It doesn't depend. I just told you.
It kind of, I mean, it kind of does, kind of doesn't, because like, realistically speaking, I guess,
Dude,
yeah,
you
but
guys are
regardless, do you know why that
reductionists.
works? Do you know
You
why
guys
that
argue
works?
that
Zeke?
consciousness is a phenomenon.
I just say consciousness is an emergent property of the brain, but like, that's
Yeah,
not
that's a
the question
phenomenon.
here. We're talking about pressure. Like, the pressure that's probably inside your skull right now as your brain, like, randomly expands.
Yeah,
it just,
these are like there's certain type of membrane in these certain cells that are holding everything together. So there has to be certain God
Cells are a
particle,
theory,
right?
baby.
It's
They're
called
a
the Higgs
theory that you don't
boson. It's called
believe
the
in.
Higgs boson. It grants
boson
particle
is
light.
in the cell.
No. I'm so sorry. You can't sit there and say, hey, the earth is flat and there's no gravity. We can't prove gravity. And then fucking talk about the Higgs boson. You don't know what the Higgs boson is. You
So,
have
let
no
me tell you-
scientific knowledge like whatsoever.
So if the Higgs boson is a particle, like it's a force that grants all these particles and elements their own mass technically. So that's why they call it the goddamn particle.
No. Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus, God.
Fuck.
You
Zeke,
guys don't know.
you know, this is
I don't
supposed to be
believe in
about
particles
like
anyway,
say it's
dude.
the
You don't.
goddamn particle.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. They don't.
the goddamn particle.
We're not moving. The particles, we can't prove them. Gravity, we can't prove them. We're just living spiritually.
I'm just
and-
imagining, like,
Believe that
physically-
there's a deity out, like, so
Zeke.
that you don't believe any of that. Wait. Question. If we're a flat earth, are Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, are they also?
Those are gods. Those are certain type of beings.
Jesus
divine beings.
Christ.
certain types of beings.
What a wild
Have you ever
world you live in.
communicated with Jupiter?
No, but I've done some research and people.
Oh, you've never
the Greeks
communicated.
and a
Okay,
lot of-
can these be? Oh, you've done some research. Please cite your source. What's the research you've done to
I don't
establish that
remember.
Jupiter
It's
is
so
a
long
being?
ago, but again, the Greeks would worship these. Type
Oh, it
of
was so
planets.
long ago.
The Greeks would worship these type of
The
planets. and
ancient people worshipped a lot of things. People
so
before the ancient Greeks worshipped
they weren't
fucking
thinking that they
rabbits.
were just rocks, and like they had more technology than us, dude.
You just say the ancient Greeks had more technology than us.
Yes, for sure. It's just we don't know it.
Demonstrate a single piece of ancient Greek technology that's more advanced than what we have today.
A computer, buddy. A damn computer.
Okay, so
First
the
fucking
Greeks had
computer.
what could be considered an operating machine. It was nothing
It
near
was a
what we have
computer,
for
buddy.
computers today. It did not have the processing power. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it wasn't even a computer.
Yeah, you don't know.
I do. Cool. What was the purpose of this computer there, Zeke?
Are you
Again,
flipping
it's a
through
computer.
your Eric Dubé notepad
again,
about
let me tell you,
the
it was a
bullshit?
computer with like I don't know how to say, but again, it's a little computer chip.
Are you referring to
What?
the Antikythera mechanism? Is that what you're
Like I
referring
said,
to?
I don't remember what it's
I'm
called,
pretty
but
certain he is,
these
yes.
guys had pyramids and a lot of type of power.
Yeah, you know why they have pyramids? Most
How did they
ancient,
make the
No, no, no,
pyramids?
no.
Hold up, how did they
most
make the
ancient
pyramids?
pyramids.
Did
Yeah,
we move
wait,
them by hand? We couldn't move them by hand.
They moved it, well, not just by hands. They also moved them over the Nile when it came to the Egyptians, and they had thousands of paid workers, not millions, because the human population
thousands of
wasn't
paid
that large
workers
yet.
can't carry
We know how they built the
Tons.
pyramids.
One rock weighs about tons, dude. Tons.
Zeke, are you a troll?
do you not?
No, of course not. One rock fucking weighs tons. How are thousands of people gonna?
His name is Zeke. He never had a chance to not be this stupid. His name is Zeke. His parents never gave him a chance. It's like parents who name their kids Nevaeh or Gaia. He was just always going to be stupid.
Bring your sexist joke. Bring it in, man. It hurts me so much. You can't even answer why light.
I'm making fun of your name, not your gender.
Is light a particle or a wave? I'm gonna start asking you some dumbass questions that you can't even answer yourself. Is light a particle or a wave?
It can be represented as both.
Hurry up. Okay, it was a photon. You got it wrong. Why does a rainbow contain?
I did not get it wrong.
Why does a rainbow contain
there's a classic experiment that shows that light operates both as a particle and a wave. It's called superposition.
Can you go fast
Do you know
enough
what
to make a black
superposition
hole?
is, Zeke?
Can you go fast enough to make a black hole? Does a source of electricity ever run out of electrons? Can you answer
Are you
these
just
questions?
running down a list and you're
Does an atom have a color? How can a clear object have a color?
Well, we can't see atoms. That's actually not a thing. So.
Okay, then
probably
explain why when you wear a white shirt, why does the shirt turn darker?
what?
Yes, when you wet a white shirt, why does it turn dark?
I'm sorry, Zeke. I'm just gonna have to get out of this
What is this
right
called?
now
You
because
can't answer it. Why are
No,
all
no, it's not that we can't answer
why
it.
are all
Zeke.
metals magnetic?
Zeke, it's not that we can't answer it. It's that you're running down a list on your notepad that you probably bummed off of Eric Dubé. And yeah, see, there he goes. His phone either died or he just I don't know if he ran, but I was about to disconnect him because I just can't.
That was a lot for 1%. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he was literally just running down a list of questions that he could easily Google and find the answer. I'm not going to play fucking the human version of Google for him. Like, no, he was not kicked, or at least I didn't kick him. I appreciate both of y'all coming up and engaging on that. I really appreciate that.
Yes, I'm sorry I couldn't be quicker and a little more thorough. It was just a lot of word salad that was being tossed at me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Anyways, thank you.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot. Oh, well, heathens, what did you think of Zeke's call tonight? Did you think that he was spot on about any of the bullshit that he was spitting? Or do you think that maybe he needs to rethink some of his, stuff there? Let me know down below in the comments. And while you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And as always, don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.